This is here the all-new Lexus ES, exclusive tour here for you today. So far, we said that the ES is, so to speak, the Japanese E-Class and the LS is the Japanese S-Class. However, since this one here has gained so much in length, might this one be here the Japanese S-Class now? We're going to find out with Thomas now to go through in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the all-new ES with a very precise and sharp look here in the front. Almost looks like a modern Batmobile or something like that. Interesting body color inside this contrast design here, also in the lower part. Here it says ES350E because this one is available pure electric, but also combustion hybrid, so both versions will be available. And talking about this massive length increase, now here at 5 meters 14 or 202 inches, that's 16.5 centimeters or 6.5 inches longer than the predecessor, means that this one is now lengthwise in the region of a short wheelbase Mercedes S-Class we can get in Europe. The long wheelbase S-Class or the 7 Series would still be a little bit larger, so there is then still room for an all-new LS or something like that. 19-inch wheels or optional 21-inch for the EV versions, so the bigger ones only for the EV versions. These are then the large 21-inch and they look pretty massive. Here the charging flap is in the front, soon more details about the batteries and so on. Interesting design detail here with this cut in there, and it goes all the way through this black contrast here. So once again, a very dramatic design. And from the outside, it looks like a fastback. But is that deceiving? We're soon going to find out. This, of course, done for all the aerodynamics. I also heard that there will be a rear axle steering available up to 4 degrees in the opposite direction. And front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models will be available. Also here then for the EV version. And in the rear, design-wise, light strip goes all the way through, with a pretty cool Lexus lettering right here. Other than that, on the hardware, what's also interesting, it has a wider track. In the front is 6 centimeters or 2 inches wider track. In the rear, it's actually 8 centimeters or 3 inches wider track. That is also how the wheelbase has been increased, so 8 centimeters or 3 inches more on wheelbase. We're going to check out if this also will translate into the legroom. Acceleration figures for the electric versions, 8.2 or 5.7 seconds. It's 8.2 for the 350e, this is the front-wheel drive version, or then the 5.7 acceleration for the 500e, that's the all-wheel drive electric version. Strangely, the battery capacities, they differ also a little bit. Here the 350e, 77 kilowatt hours, gross though, not the net figures, and 75 kilowatt hours, so a little bit less for the stronger all-wheel drive version. Kind of strange, and gotta say though, these are not really big battery capacity figures for such a large vehicle, you know. So considering the length here, it should be a bigger battery, and if you consider that these are even the gross figures, they're even a little bit lower. And that means when I calculate with some 400 kilometers or 250 miles of range, that is maybe a rather realistic estimation. We have to see it, of course, when we can really drive it for you at a later stage. And charging, cannot open the flap here so far. It's like a first hand-built model. 11 kilowatt AC, I haven't read anything other yet so far. And 150 kilowatt DC charging, then 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. And the hybrid model, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid with 200 horsepower. In the European version or in the weaker version in the US, and in the North American market you also get a 250 horsepower version, is then a second quicker, so 7-ish seconds, and the EU version of the hybrid some 8 seconds in the acceleration figure. So that might also be a very interesting choice, especially when you say, hey, it's not enough range with a pure electric version. And it's also interesting that the hybrid version will be 345 to, if you have the all-wheel drive, 445 kilograms lighter than the pure battery electric version, because the big battery, of course, also weighs so much. So at this point, I can say from the first figures, I think the hybrid might again be more interesting, but of course we can tell you more when we can test drive both the hybrid and the pure EV. And if you wonder, the hybrid, both available front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Heading towards the interior, here you grab in here to open the doors, and then this one here is also equipped with the soft close. There we go. Other than that, I also want to hear the door slamming sound, which doesn't sound that cool, honestly. Inside of the doors, this is new. This is a new bamboo wood from sustainable sourcing, and you can already see here the light shine through. We're soon also going to show you how it looks like when the light is off. Then you can even see more of this ambient lighting effect. Here, soft leatherette here at the inside of the doors, harder here on the top part. Magnificent sound system, no covering at the inside of the doors. And then a completely new steering wheel here, electric control here at the side, in and out, up and down, and so on. And soon more details to all of the cockpit and comfort and so on. First, very brief seating position here. Seats are soft. It's indeed a sedan seating position, not too high, but the EV platform, you see that the floor is relatively high. It's not too bad. Yeah, but we're going to see about that also in the rear. Welcome to this cockpit. 14-inch infotainment screen here now. However, they also have hotkeys for warmer and colder here in the lower area, and also still a manual volume jog at least. Soon more to the infotainment. Some ambient lighting integration right here. Glove box is tiny and folds down here. Interesting, there's a fabric on the inside, but this will not be the final finish. I'm quite certain of that. Middle console here with some nice bamboo inserts, and then here adaptive cup holders, 2 inductive charging pads in the front. This is here the automatic shifting lever, so to speak, and the armrest here, yeah, it's actually nice and soft, and then here you can open it to this side or also to my side, so both is possible. Steering wheel material feels really good. This is the animal-free material, and then here shifting pedals, or in this case then for the recuperation, they also feel really nice and premium then in this respect. So yeah, very interesting cockpit definitely, and with 1m89 602 close here to the side. A little bit more to this roof here, there is a shade, and you can actually also open that. So here, there's the shade, there we go, and then let's see if it also does it here, there we go. You can actually also open that small glass roof. And now it gets really dramatic with a little bit less light, and you can see the integration of the bamboo. Here, there's bamboo wood, and behind that there is ambient lighting, or kind of shining through, so it looks really cool. So first the use of sustainable bamboo material, and then also ambient lighting integration here on the dashboard, and yeah, that looks really amazing. And the same also goes for maybe Liga can already show the rear seats, because even in the rear on both sides on the doors you can see how the ambient lighting looks like there. So that's actually a pretty cool integration, isn't it? Here, this is the main infotainment unit with a known Toyota or Lexus software, so to speak. There will also be an inbuilt GPS, of course, available. Yeah, but from the visualization, it's maybe not the coolest thing. I would also deactivate these beeping noises. However, if you want to control the temperature, this is right in the lower part. You don't have to use the screen for that, only here for the seat heating and the steering wheel heating. And important here, to deactivate the speed beeping in the EU market, here there's a new hotkey introduced now, first time in a Lexus. And driver POV here with some buttons. These sound pretty cool, although it's like one field. And then here for the volume up and down, for example, right side cruise control. Yeah, and these are not the real digital instruments yet. This is just like a display, literally no monitor yet, but this is how they will look like. And you will also get a head-up display. Also important, dual glazing here for the front and also for the rear windows here. So dual glazing to bring down the noise level in the interior. And they also worked on improving the door sills and also with less vibrations that come from like moving parts and so on to the interior overall to increase the NVH comfort. And the rear seats, first of all, we have a manual shade here in the rear. Then again, this bamboo inlet, it's pretty cool, looks nice. Mark & Levinson sound system, 17 speakers, hard pack, although in the lower doors there, and here once again the pressing for the automatic release, and this would be the manual release. Then you can see ample of space here, ISOFIX at the outside seats each, and you can also electrically move them. I'm soon going to show that to you. First of all, bamboo inlet here as well, and 2 USB-C chargers. And this is the space that I would have here behind the driver's seat. There you can see, yeah, these 8 centimeters or 3 inches are gained additionally to that. That's pretty amazing indeed. And then you can see I can fold down this, and I have like this digital seat control here. First of all, I can fold up this for more space and USB-C charging. That's possible. quality here. I have to see if this one will be in the final version, maybe not. And this then here also where I put like the ski hatch for the trunk. So here you can activate this, and then you can do funny stuff. Here, for example, the rear shade for the window. So automatic shade, there we go. So that's actually interesting thing. Then you have seat heating, seat cooling also for the rear seats. We are also able to control the front seat here, the passenger seat, from here. So that's also a cool thing. They can make way more space than here for the chauffeur driving position. And yeah, and then we already get to like kind of S-Class or LS style. What else can we do? We can also electrically control the back part of the seat, for example. Here we go, back and forth. That is possible. And maybe even more interesting is this one here. There. So there's like the calf rest. Can put it all the way up like this. This looks cool. Oh, and then there's also a massage function, so why not? And I would say it's time to take off my shoes and get into the being chauffeured position and see how it fits to my size when I have already put everything into position here. And I mean, with 1.89 meters, 6'2", not sure if the seat goes a little bit more forward in the final version, but I mean, it maybe directly fits, not more. Could be a little bit longer now, like really on a talking on a high level and so on. Yeah, but here it's just a nice position. But to me, yeah, maybe I need to be a little bit smaller leg length wise or something like that. In the 7 Series I could stretch fully, but I cannot be 100% certain at this moment that in this very first hand-built car it might be possible to push it a little bit more further in the final version or something. And materials, the steering wheel feels really nice, as I said, and is always animal free actually. And the seats also come standard with the Nulux or Tahara material, as they call it at Lexus, a high-grade leatherette. Good choice also for this new vehicle, and it's standard for all hybrid versions, also standard for the EV. Only the car you see here, the high-grade electric vehicle version, there you can optionally also go for the animal material. Always when you access the trunk or the boot, you can once again read the illuminated Lexus sign. That's pretty cool, like the lettering here. And then the opening button is right here. And you can see here it looks fastback, but it's still a separate sedan trunk, so to speak. Here the trolley fits in vertically as well. And the width here behind the wheel arches is enormous, like more like 145 in meters or like 57 inches, something like that. But here the interesting thing is then how is it here? And then here between the wheel arches, a little bit more than a meter or 40 inches. And the normal length here is like 1 meter 15 or 45 inches. And the height, there we go, at it's like 53 centimeters or 21 inches. So still somewhat sedan limited. Not sure if this one will be better in the final version or if it's more like the first prototype hand-built concept here. Yeah, we will follow up on that definitely. And then what's also interesting here, this floor mat. I mean, it's so fitted here that you can not actually lift it. So I would like, need to go underneath there somewhere, but I found like in the right part here, like thing to grab it, and then you can lift it up, because underneath you could store a charging cable and maybe an additional one or something like that. So that would be possible. But can we actually fold the seats here? And we can also open here the ski hatch from the rear compartment to load things through. That's the only thing that is possible here. I mean, you now have way more space in the rear due to this increase in length, and it looks really stunning from the exterior. The hybrid engine to me will be the more interesting one because it's super efficient. It's really a pity that the pure EV version, the battery is just not larger. That would have been a very cool fit then. Or what do you think? Give me your feedback on the all-new Lexus ES. And now tune in to the competitors.